Yes.
So yes, this meeting would be shared on our YouTube channel. Just for information, we also have a YouTube channel. It's a kind of a baby one, but we have long-term plans on it. So soon there would be some awesome stuff released there as well. How are you doing, guys? So we have a chat. You can share all your thoughts, questions.
Yeah. Hit the subscribe button. Go, 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 go. And as the great influencers are saying.
Okay, just several more minutes and we start.
Yeah, just letting you know, guys, like Seva said, the recording will be also, the AMA will be also recorded, and then we'll share it on YouTube channel, so everybody can have the time afterwards to visit and then see what's up with Relite. And I hope today to answer all the needed questions and get you with some recent updates on Relite. In fact, I think it will be a good idea to start right away with the updates. So when you're ready, also let me know for if in Telegram if the people got the link, in Twitter also.
So the Twitter
if guys are there.
And I think it's a perfect hour to start because it's 11 a.m. UTC. So as we agreed, we're starting our big Relite video AMA, our first internal AMA when we are not present as a guests of other channels. So we're pleased to have you here, guys. And as well as pleased welcome, say hello to George, our CEO. So we have pre-collected several questions from you, which would be asked during session, but for your information, you'll still have an opportunity to ask your question here in question and answers section. It's written like Q&A and get rewarded as well. So George, how are you doing? Introduce for those.
Yeah, pretty exciting times. Thanks. It's been interesting after the IDO. We kind of recovered from the nights of no sleep. Now we're fully focusing on the product, so I'll give you a bit of update on that side, and then I'll continue with the questions. So what's going on with Relite? Our focus is 100% on the product at the moment to deliver what we promised to the audience and to our investors. As announced, we're working on we actually finalized the BSC bridge, which will enable us also to open up Relite as a more like a multi-chain protocol. That means that BNB and DOT and Solana and other chains will be also highly welcomed. But with the BSC bridge now, we can also be able to list as well ready on PancakeSwap. So another great news for all our investors. And from other aspects in the long run, we will be also launching a kind of an initial liquidity event. So first, the initial liquidity event will be for stablecoins to open up pools for stablecoin. And also in parallel with that, we're working actively on a LP program for the really Ethereum pair in Uniswap, and also we'll have LP program as well on the PancakeSwap, so really BNB. So yeah, really exciting stuff. We expanded our developer teams. Now we have like about 3 to 4 people full-time working with us, of course, with Boris, our CTO. Growing the marketing team, content team, a lot of new advisors also popping up. And just yesterday, we also announced a very cool partnership with Parsec, so blockchain analytics company. So in terms of partnership, we really look for analytics, insurances, and wallets. Also, all those kind of partners are very vital for the future of Relite Finance. that being said, I can then tell you more that we have also next partnerships coming up next week already. So announcement on that later on in the coming days. So yeah, Seva, go ahead and shoot me the first question that we chose, and I can start with it.
So sounds like pretty many plans for the future. And let's start from the first question. As we're having an internal in AMA, it probably would be a tough question, but we want to be honest with you guys. And it comes from the guy with the handle name that I cannot just repeat the voice. So the question is, what is the future of the token? Is it worth investing?
Maybe the question was, we have witnessed something from CR7 or something.
So I'm mixing, you know. I'm
Okay. So you kind of, there is, okay. So what the question is,
yeah, what's happening with the Ready token? Is it worth investing in it for savings?
Absolutely. Like we discussed, Relite token is the government's token of Relite platform, is the native token of the system. It will be then used also to able to stake your Relite tokens in the reserve pool. So I think it's definitely worth taking as a long-term investment. On top of that, you can then, if you hold Relite as well, you can have like real voting power on how we structure the business, where should we go as a community, what kind of fees needs to be implemented, etc. So all the major lending platforms out there have those kind of tokens, and it's absolutely natural for Relite to have one as well. In terms of price, if you consider me, of course, we have like correction in all the crypto markets. That was actually, I think, highly needed, because a lot of the markets were very, very overheated, and now they chill. They need a time to relax and really find a good balance in terms of demand. So we are not exiting entering like some kind of a bear market. I think this is just more like a correction, and really something that will be something shortly lived, because there's in every bull market, as you know, there is a correction about 30 to 40%, and everything goes back again. So don't worry about the price at the moment. Let's focus on community and really building the product, and everything will turn out to be good for the token.
Yeah, so considering such huge plans like you announced, there is no doubt that the platform has a long way of development ahead, and this is really very beginning. And also, let me say that I'm really pleased seeing that live questions are coming as well, and probably I should follow up from Mike Dio, who is asking for more detailed dates in our BSC bridge. So it's it's nice to have.
Yeah, absolutely. It's development, of course. It takes time, but we're practically 90% ready with the bridge. There's not much like complexity in that. And after that, we need maybe a week and a half to put everything needed for PancakeSwap listing and the liquidity there, etc. So I think realistically, everything will be ready for bridge plus the PancakeSwap in 2 weeks.
Okay, so, and the second question comes from Thea. I hope I named you correctly, friend. Thea Sharan. Relite Finance utilizes Polkadot ecosystem technology, the original asset of Bitcoin and ERC20 tokens. They will be in one ecosystem. So can you explain how 3 different networks work in one Relite ecosystem? So that's the question.
That's a big question for a lot of the blockchain development community in general. So this at the moment happens with bridges, and these bridges basically are connectors. You can set it like connectors of those kind of tokens. How they work, basically, there are 2 ways. One is that you actually take a token and then you burn it on the other chain, and then mint it on that one that receives, or you can use it a proxy. So the first one is a bit more easier to implement, but also involves a bit of more security issues. So we need to kind of take very careful approach on that. But basically how they're connected, again, through bridges. This is the same principle as DOT is connected to Ethereum. It's going to happen through a parachain, which offers a bridge. And the same kind of parachains will also offer a bridge to other popular chains such as Bitcoin, etc. So Rune has actually done a very good job on that as well. So essentially, after these bridges are done, then these tokens can live their own kind of, they live in the ecosystem of Relite, and you can actually, future could actually be able very quickly, you can collateralize, for instance, your Bitcoin and get a loan in DOT. And that will happen like in a very seamless manner without much of the much problems in the backend side, on the side of the chains, right? So yeah, again, this is a big question for the community and for all the developers, but we're going through the direction of bridges, and I think all of us know that it will take time, but it will happen eventually.
Okay, so thanks for a detailed answer, and let's get back to the questions we collected from our community. Probably the next one would be related to the team and your level of confidence in it. So we have witnessed that many projects initiated with inexperienced team members fail due to easily preventable and simple mistakes. So it might be, is the experience in your career which would be enough to avoid simple mistakes on the way?
Actually, all of us have experience in entrepreneurship. That's something that we need to also, maybe I couldn't expand a bit more on the AMAs, but also we know basically how to build not only companies that look well on the external, but also they're working well in their internally. So building that structure is very important for us. And also the other aspect is when you're like entrepreneur and you meet people, you usually try to work with the top talents, and that's why we also have top talents in analytics, such as Christo, in terms of getting every possible financial model out there and structuring how exactly APIs are calculated and things like that. That's why we have like great compliance team with leader from Hannah's CTO that has been working with in the finance and the medical sectors, also building smart contracts for a lot of years. And then we have experienced advisors in security, which also have been partially involved in the security, building the security for NATO Cyber Shield, which also is, by the way, happens here in Estonia and it's been built there. And with the combination of these advisors and the great kind of product and marketing guys who can lead and have led good projects, then I don't feel any issues of our competency. I think we're super competent to do it. And again, we know what it takes to build also a product for mass consumers, because also we worked as consultants for big companies, but we also in the past years have been working as entrepreneurs. So we know how to scale fast and make a great community and product. I hope the audio is okay and Seva can hear me still.
Yeah, pardon. So some issues with my mic. So thanks for your answer, and you relieved me. That's what I said. It wouldn't be a surprise for you that our community consists from really ambitious guys, and probably the next question will come from the very special one among them. So the guy asks, what needs to be done for a small project to get the support of many venture capital funds like yours? Probably like you, but not yours. But I think you got the question.
Well, look, like the venture space is quite active at the moment. So a lot of investors are looking for projects to invest quick as a quick buck. And so we need to, first of all, very carefully consider what kind of investors involved. That's why in the very beginning, our first investors, also Master Ventures, Gen Block, AU21, etc. They're experienced investors as well, and they have given a good name in the industry, so we trust them. So that's why we think that they're not only investors but good partners in general. VC funding, and afterwards big funds come when there's growth, and there's high growth. High growth makes it when you actually scale the product and you have like enough user base, and this is where probably, yes, we will need, after probably a year and a half, 2, we will need venture funding just to increase the TVL in the protocol, because that is also another incentives for these VC funds to participate and earn money on top, but also enable bigger markets, bigger reach, much more like bigger structure in the company. The venture funds, of course, will like to have like also maybe some equity round with equity splitting or more tokens. So these are also considerable things. But first, we need to reach that level. I mean, we need to be in a level with a good health, good community, stable revenue, secure on the protocol, enable maybe 20 to 30 TVL already. Get those feeling, and then afterwards we can go for a proper VC round if needed, because to be honest, maybe we don't need it because we will be already in good shape, but that's only the future to tell.
Okay, so thanks for answering. Let me just remind the guys that are joining us continuously that we have a question and answer section for your live questions that could be submitted and answered on the spot by George. Don't miss your chance and share your thoughts here and in the chat. So next question would be probably more related to the upcoming product, I mean the platform, and it sounds the following way. So do you have any special user interface features that that other finance project lack of? And could you mention how the features work?
Yeah, so the interoperability is the first big feature of Relite. So meaning that you can really cross-chain and really do just use a native facet and then cross-chain it to another chain and take a native facet back from that. And it's always going to be like in a very decentralized way. So cross-chain approach is the one big feature of Relite Finance. Then of course we have the lower collateral and lower fees, which we enable through the reserve fund, which is the second big feature of Relite Finance. That enables also more security to the protocol, gives you more freedom, also increases the TVL, and also helps the Relite token also to sustain a reasonable good price. And then third, of course, we're considering the NFT collateral, which is something that a lot of people have been asking us for us, and we're actually I'd like to expand a bit more afterwards, maybe on that subject. But all those kind of features are already a very good edge for the protocol to succeed.
Okay, so moving on to the next questions. Probably it would be pretty close to the previous one. What problem do Relite solve, and why would consumers choose Relite Finance among other competitors? So please.
Yeah, this is again expansion to the previous question. So if you want to, let's say, use your Ethereum and get like native Bitcoin, you can use Relite. So you collateralize your Ethereum, you get your native Bitcoin. You collateralize your Ethereum, you get the native DOT. And using integration wallets, we can actually enable a very interesting ecosystem where in a few clicks with lower barrier to authentication, you can get like all those kind of native assets in a very, I can say a very much decentralized way. So again, people have to understand that we aim for simplicity here without hindering the security. That's a big topic, of course, but I think it's achievable. At the moment, Relite Finance is very, how to say, being also the MVP will be kind of structured around the more like experienced users who know what wallets are there and how to basically and have experience with AVA and Compound and the rest. But in the future, for Relite, we'll open up for a more broader audience. So that means that the user experience will be much easier, and then they will have already the ready technology to implement all those kind of ideas where native assets can be used whatever you want, however you want, whenever you can lend or borrow. And yeah, on that, I think it's already a good stepping stone to kind of distinguish from other protocols, because at the moment most of those lending platforms are Ethereum, and then they will probably stay in Ethereum forever, because this is how their monolithic structure of the code is built. This is how the smart contracts are working. They will be very hard to do any cross-chain liquidity there, and until Ethereum 2.2, whenever it releases, it will be very hard for them to scale. But we, on the other side, have the ability to scale. We are young. We can still experiment with a lot of the new technologies out there in a safe way, of course, and then get a very good edge on the market.
Okay, so probably let's get back to the very beginning for those guys that continue joining us. And this would be a chance for you, George, to more or less stop on upcoming partnership. The question sounds the following way. So cooperation and partnership is one of the most important issues to help develop a project. Can you tell us about your existing partnership and the partnership plans, and what people can gain from these?
Yeah, so like I said in the beginning, we will look for three major kind of verticals for our partnership program. First, the partners who will bring us analytics, that these are the ones who make sense to us to actually give predictability, security on the protocol. Second of us are the ones who bring TVL and liquidity. So this could be like institutions and any kind of other leverage kind of platforms. Then we have the wallet integrations. And that is also connected to as well people in or projects in terms of the security. So all those kind of verticals are at the moment like security wallet integrations and liquidity are the main kind of verticals that we look for partners. In terms of current partners at the moment that we have on the table, as I said, yes, we have the partnership with Parsec yesterday announced, and now more on the insurance vertical. We have one more partner coming up next week to be there. Those partnerships are very important because also it makes sense for the communities to engage. We also help those projects also with their tokens, and maybe we will then dedicate a separate pools for these tokens, which is very interesting as well for those communities to participate, not only like in marketing sense, but also to use those tokens in some lending way. So yeah, these are the kind of the things are on the table at the moment.
Okay, so among our community, it's pretty well known that we have really ambitious plans for the closest future means. But several guys from the chat live now are asking about much more long-term perspective, like 5 and 10 years. So the question sounds like how do you see Relite in 5 or 10 years? And probably I can add some points from me just to get the answer as well. How do you see the industry in this time period?
That's a great question. If only we knew the right answer. It's really hard to say probably in 5 or 10 years where things are going, but definitely the industry is maturing. So you have more institutional money coming in, you have more regulation clarity, and then it has also opened up more and more gates for mass consumers. So I think crypto in general in 5 to 10 years will become very mainstream. The mobile experience, for instance, will become very natural. Either you pay with Ethereum, Doge, or Relite to a merchant, And you will not feel it either if you use fiat or crypto. Probably the underlying technologies will be there, and it will have like a faster settlement layer. So that means that there are a lot of the actual crypto businesses and fintech businesses that will merge together, and everything will be kind of in a more like coherent, flowish, and the flow between those two sort of systems, the fiat system and the crypto system, will actually become more active and more robust. Otherwise, for Relite, of course, we see bright future. And for us, as we said, we wanted to bring simplicity, and for the lending space, we want to open up and democratize the lending space for everyone to use. And I think going further and along the years, we'll see really merging again with fiat systems, creating like this kind of a very interesting new models, how people can govern lending through Relite. I think in 5 to 10 years, of course, there will be much more coherent government structure in place for the project and for the community. Loans will be given in a very also for particular, let's say, use cases, and all those kind of things will come together in one, and it's very exciting for sure. I have no doubt that actually crypto will win, and also that Relite Finance will succeed in its goals.
Okay, so it's also nice, always nice to hear from an insider with such experience as you are, that we have some bright future ahead of our industry. Probably with next question, let's get a little bit closer back to our product, and it's related to its pretty unique and innovative feature. So it's about NFT collateral. So the question sounds the following way: which factors are being considered while allowing collateral security against loan to an NFT? Some mistakes in wording. Okay, so how to differentiate an NFT which may unleash a greater value in future? So that's the question.
First of all, I have to say that the NFT as well as a format of the Ethereum blockchain is already preventing a lot of the fraud that it could be done. So if you have like if you actually manage to mint an NFT, pretty much you're the owner, and that means like there's not many ways you can kind of fake it and take the ownership of that, if I understand correctly the question. Of course, they're fakes, meaning that they just let's say copy the image and then they mint the image himself, or some way to just screen capture or stuff like that. But again, we cannot avoid that also in the sense. But the NFT again solves a lot of the issues of those fraudulent artworks and who owns what, basically. Then the second part of the question was how to be utilized in Relite, right? Or the first part was that. So
yep, exactly. So it's also about
so at the moment, what happens when you have like a paintings or some kind of artwork, and you actually want to go to, let's say, and get a loan against it, somebody will actually have a quote and has to actually analyze like what is the price of that artwork and have a comparison. This kind of stuff has to be done on the blockchain. How to do it? Well, that's a great question. One, you can do analyzing sophisticated back data or history data, and that's something we can already get from integrations with OpenSea and Variable. So we really understand what it could be the price and what is a fair price for that NFT, despite speculations and other factors. And B, the other part is, yes, these integrations and how the Oracle actually works with it. So if you can manage those integrations and we can add the sophisticated history data, then we have already a much better understanding on the quote for that artwork piece. So you'll be able to collateralize your NFT in Relite, and then the system will be able to give some kind of an estimate all the price. Is it really worth those kind of, and how much, let's say, stable value coin, such as DAI and USDT, you can get against that NFT. But that's some things we need to solve. Yeah, this is a big task, a great one. But we have already in some way we progressed also with our analysis, and we have as well put it in the architecture. So we'll figure it out, all the details along the way.
Okay, so kind of ambition planned. Let's get back to our live section, and let me remember that we have a live section for your live questions and answers from George. So don't forget to submit your question. And the next one comes from the guy Laviet. So hopefully I didn't make a mistake. And thanks for a question. It's related to our governance cryptocurrency. So how many cryptocurrencies can be converted to Relay? And do you support tokens on native currencies from different networks without a problem? Probably I would add to this question a request for some insights on the upcoming listings, whether you're planning to list Relay to some other exchanges, both centralized and
yeah. Well, like I said in the very beginning as well, like we will support ERC20 tokens. Now with the bridge, we can get the BNB and BNB tokens and the BC bridge, and alongside afterwards with the bridge to Polkadot, we can get DOT and other related DOT projects on top. So pretty a lot of actually possibilities with those bridges to enable it to support those different tokens. Otherwise, for the listings, yeah, as I said, PancakeSwap. PancakeSwap is the next one on the list, and then we are also in discussion with several SEX exchanges, which is I cannot, of course, name them all of them, but I can tell you that they're very, very reputable. We need to be very careful, of course, with the centralized exchange listing, because it also gives, how to say, it sends a message to also other communities what kind of project you are. So we cannot just list on any other kind of exchange. And I know that some exchanges even take tokens and bring them on exchange without notifying the project. That also happens in crypto world, which is strange, but they do it. But when we list on some exchange, then there will be for a reason, and they will be very much engaged with also their community. So it will happen soon. So don't worry. This is a very natural process, and when we have of course, a great community alongside us, then we're very confident also when to list and how to list.
Okay, so next question is coming in relation to our Polkadot shows, and the guy called Michael, so thanks for your question, is asking, why do you prefer Polkadot instead of Cosmos and other protocols when both interoperability project and both solid projects? Both are solid.
Yeah, Cosmos actually has at the moment a bit more things built in their modules. I know that. But I think what we really liked in Polkadot is the kind of the architecture vision, how the parachains will communicate with the relay chain, what kind of features it will have, throughput, speed, scalability, also Rust as the main language. So kind of all those kind of things together took us to the decision to go to Polkadot. But I have to say a big here, but is that the Relite Finance is also a multi-chain protocol. That means that we cannot only be solely focused on one. That's why we are building more bridges towards BNB, Solana, and other popular, so even Cosmos as well. So we're not closing the doors for that, definitely. We just at the very beginning kind of wanted to be more close to Polkadot, and we still are, and we're still in contact with them. We understand like how the parachains are going, but so they also take time. So that is something we need to consider in order to launch MVP. It's good to be on time and not to depend on much on what has been developed from the other chains. So yeah, Polkadot, yes, but not only. That's my answer.
Okay, this sounds reasonable. The next live greetings are coming from a guy called Jeff. He says, "Hi, George," and he's asking about
Yeah.
another awesome topic. He says, "I wish to know about reserve pool staking. I get that from white paper, more staking is better for borrowers as it helps to lower down the collateral rate. Also, action is insurance for the whole protocol. I would like to know more about in the event of sudden heavy liquidation, what kinds of scenarios could possibly happen for the pool to recover?"
That's a great question. So in the event of liquidations, actually our users are given some time to reliquidate the positions and also change their collateralization ratio. In that time, when this shortfall happens, we have rally, a bit of rally in the reserve pool saved. So we're releasing the rally, and at that point, we're kind of covering those kind of losses in the loans, so that we protect people not to get liquidated super fast. Afterwards, if they haven't done anything and there's no actions, of course, we need to kind of liquidate. But that's like, again, the thresholds are different. So, for instance, in Aave, you have now at the moment, if you take only loan to value in Aave, you have like what, 65, 70%. You can get like a loan from your collateralized crypto. In Relite Finance, you can get it to 75 to 80% because, again, of the reserve fund. So back to the shortfall. If that happens, then there will be enough as well rally in the reserve fund, and they will be able to kind of mitigate that kind of liquidation process, and you will not get sort of losing your position immediately.
Okay, sounds fair. And probably another one question related to our product, which could be considered as stuff as well. So fair fears and good revenue over income are two things which are opposite to each other. How does Relite Finance bring a balance to this combination, and how low are your interest rates going to be for the borrowers?
I cannot name very particular kind of rates, but for instance, the beginning will be quite good because the pools are going to be very much young, and when the pools are young, then basically you get like a very good APYs because the utilization is good. So basically, you can get like from a USDT, USDC pool and APY, let's say, just as a lender. If you come as a lender, then you can get like 20 to 30% at the beginning. So these are kind of benchmarks. But like on terms of fees, well, we try to optimize as much as possible the fees. Like, of course, the MVP will use some of the Solidity contracts, so we need to still pay some of the fees in gas and Ethereum. But then when we have the bridge with BSC and when we have the bridge to Polkadot, then we can actually lower the fees up to 90% as well, because as soon as the tokens from Ethereum start to move on Polkadot, then it's a fraction of a cent to move those assets, so the fees will be very low.
Okay, so I got it, and probably the question that was already partly covered, but as we're still gaining the audience, let me just announce this because it has came from several guys. So what are Relite plans during the bearish period, and how are you going just to opposite the situation in the market?
Well, first of all, I don't believe that we're in a bearish. Yeah, I mean, there is a downtrend, let's say a short-term downtrend of the market, but it's not there. And not yet, at least. If Bitcoin and Ethereum breaks their moving averages heavy 200 weekly, 50 daily several times, then this will actually can be concerning. But at the moment they kind of hold on that level. So in that moment, in the bearish, or like, let's say in this kind of downturn scenario, we still build the product. What do we do in the bull run? We build product. What do we do in a non-bull, non-bearish? We build product. This is basically what we're going to do. That's kind of how can I answer the question. So don't worry about the price and price movement. Price is volatile. Price is determined by a lot of market participants with different agendas and moods. The important is really to believe in yourself first and what you understand from a project and how to be a smart investor. So when you believe in a project and you take a reasonable decision on your own, then you actually become like financially independent, and then you will make decisions much easily when to sell and when not to sell, and not to be affected by this crazy market volatility or Elon Musk or stuff like that. So we will be building in the meantime. That's what we do. This is what we're good at.
Okay, so the point about building the product despite all happening around sounds like a winning strategy. Probably a question of a different type from the ones we collected from our community is a personal question. What is advice you wish you could give to a younger you? So probably let's say
yeah, I remember that one.
Related.
I guess it's connected to the previous one, but yeah, to stay calm and really trust your gut. This is what you can give like an advice to a younger me, I guess. I did that anyway. Maybe not that calm, but yeah, I can say to a younger me, relax. Don't stress it. Think before you do. Trust your guts. And this is something I can give to not only younger me but also younger people around me. And maybe do more of the things you like and love. That's why actually I'm in Relite Finance. That's why we like crypto, and all of us in the team we love it. So that's what we do, and for that reason, I think maybe we did the right things in our youth. That's why we are here.
Okay, pretty fair, thank you. So the next question, which is coming from the live section, let me remind you that we have a question and answer section to gather your question live, probably came from a watchdog. So it sounds the following way. Is there any potential partnership between Relite Finance and Estonian government? And also, let me introduce myself. Yeah, please. Spread several words on upcoming partnership with significant market players as well for those who just came.
Not in particular with the Estonian government in particular. Like of course we've been we have like been involved in the Estonian ecosystem, in crypto ecosystem and ecosystem community. So we know everyone here. Some of our founders are also part of the Estonian Cryptocurrency Association. So this is like very big. So in that regard, the Estonian Cryptocurrency Association also talks to the governmental bodies of Estonia. So they know basically the project, or like they know what crypto companies are doing in Estonia, how they do, and basically most of the team members which are based in Estonia, they really know also the regulations on top and have done their homework. So on that subject, we're pretty confident that we're knowing what we're doing, and since we know what we're doing, I don't know if we need to do any kind of cooperation with a government. Like, of course, maybe there's some kind of initiatives going on in the future, perhaps a native governmental cryptocurrency that needs support, advising or something like that. Then we'll be ready to do any, or advising on some kind of a new regulation laws that they have to be implemented. We will also be interested probably to submit and give some feedback. But in general, yeah, I think we're ready to cooperate and whenever subject is needed.
Okay, so I see. Probably it would be a kind, stylish exit if speaking about the fire for the final. And the question is following, coming from our live attender. So token burning is beneficial to any project because it can control the number of tokens in circulation and provide investors with great incentives. Does your great project have a plan for token burning?
Yeah, we've been considering these ideas, like with the token burn, but to be honest, I think that's also kind of it's sort of a bit of a trap, because you also think that if you burn tokens, then you actually only with that you can create a better price and buy pressure. But it's actually the other round. So actually, to order to create like buy pressure, you need to do your homework and you need to do your product and you need to do your marketing right. When you have that in place, then you don't need to burn. You don't need to do any kind of mechanism on every transaction to incentivize different people to do more and more. So the burning aspect is not needed. And alongside the way, in the long run, you'll understand that also you need tokens for liquidity on custom kind of things. So when they're burning, then you do have also other problems. And then you might end up in a situation that you need to mint more than you expected from the cap that you were taking into the contract. So yeah, gotta be careful with those kind of burning mechanisms and how to actually utilize, and also elastic supply and things like that. So it's I consider it more like good things for the project, but not the main one to drive really awareness of and protection for the investors. When the product is there and when everything marketing is done, then you don't need a mechanism to keep the price.
Okay, so the following question, and probably this would be the last one for today, comes to you as especially to a white paper and Relite strategy expert. So Michelle de la Cruz asks, with regards to the governance, in your white paper, it says that Relite token holder is empowered. Does it mean that everyone can participate to vote about the protocol? So.
Sorry, Seva, the connection was a bit bad. Can you repeat the question?
Yes. So the next question is related to the token governance. In your white paper, it says that really token holder is empowered. What does it mean that everyone can participate to vote about the protocol? I mean, voting process here.
Yes, in the future, that's the idea. Basically, you will be able to vote on integration fees, models of the utilization of the pools, ability to choose like what kind of tokens we should list on the pools, how to structure proceed the release process and things like that. Strategies on the pools and things like that will also be gathered from community. A community can also vote on these ideas. So the Relite token holders will be able to really have much more control of how the project and the product goes, steers the direction. That's the idea. We implementing, of course, DAO is a big task for every project. So we're realistic. We cannot do it like for like just like that in 6 months or even a year, but very, very, very closely in for 6 to 8 months, we can have like this initial governments, and then we'll have we can really open up people for ideas on see how the project can steer, what is the utilization of the pool and things like that. So really cool ideas, I think, from crowdsourcing, and those ideas will be very awesome, and people can vote with their release on these ideas, which is awesome.
Okay, so at this spot, let me thank you for your fair and detailed questions and being with us. Thanking guys for staying with us as well and for their big interest. We really value. Probably some.
I think there should be take more questions. I think there's more in the let me check in the chat maybe, or the Q&A. I don't know what's going on.
Okay.
We talked about the burning. Yeah, let me check if there's something that we need to.
So please jump in the question and answer section.
Yeah, I'm just checking something if we can quickly cover, because some of them are quite big topics. Sorry for the tough question, but when dinners? Soon. How will Rally reward be made on a daily basis for lenders and borrowers? Yes, this will be available. Every participant of the lender or the borrowing will get Rally in reward, and this will be distributed daily. Let me just check if something else we can take. Okay, I think I don't know, Seva, maybe you can check if we took over most of the questions or any topics that we need to cover.
Yeah, I was constantly checking, so the loads and loads of interesting questions, but mainly it seems that we've covered all the main topics that they are related to.
Yeah, maybe a bit of, for the roadmap, as I said, the BSC, then implementing the stable pools, the LP programs for Uniswap and PancakeSwap, then integration with more chains such as Solana, then putting together the bridges with Polkadot, NFT collateral, integrations with different wallets, and TVL is the roadmap ahead to give like a small overview on that question. I think we're good. Anything I can check also in our selected questions in the winners, maybe. If not, then we can call it a day.
Okay, let me ask Cole for it from Telegram, whether we have some questions coming from there.
Yeah, anything from Telegram probably, that could be cool. If anything.
As well as whether any one of our beloved attenders has missed his chance to ask the question of his wish, please do this in our question and answer section, as we are still available and looking for this.
I think we need another one. So let's do another AMA also, maybe in 10 days time, 2 weeks time. So we can keep those questions as well from the Q&A from today. So Seva, just make sure you can copy those kind of great questions and export them. I don't know.
Yes, sure.
And afterwards we can like do a follow-up AMA with more taking more on that questions, and so that we can cover everything that you have. And of course, before that, we can also gather more. And I guess we need more than 1 hour this time.
Awesome. So
all right.
It would be nice to make such calls. So such cozy talks is a good tradition for Relite and its community. So
Absolutely.
for attending us, please follow up the updates on our social media. For example, let me say some topics were brilliantly covered in our Medium. We also have Medium describing some significant things about our project. And let's hope to see each other during the next AMA. Thank you, George.
Thank you, guys. Subscribe on the Twitters. Get yourself in Telegram. Like our channels. We'll have also the YouTube soon running. Amazing stuff ahead. We'll also show you soon also some amazing visuals and UI to get the look and feel of the project. Really exciting times. So love you all and see you on the next one.
Thank you. Take care, guys. Bye-bye.
Cheers. Bye-bye.